Hi, welcome to Budget MTG Decks. All magic fun, all cards under $1. I'm David.
I'm Stefan.
And today we're going to look at all the black cards in Eldritch Moon.
So we talked about that we're going to review this in respect to limited, so draft and sealed, and that it will be a bit different than normal because it's a small set.
True. We're going to be again looking at them according to our 3-tier system. Tier 1 cards are super awesome. They're your bombs, they're your unconditional removal. You want to play these cards and you want to look for other cards in this color when you see this card. Tier 2, good cards, push you into this color, auto includes if you're already in this color. Tier 3, average cards, these are good fillers to fill out your mana curve, and then we have the last tier, which is just put the cards aside, don't look at it. Let's start with the common cards, shall we? We're going to start off with Strange Augmentation. For 1 black, it's an aura, and we get to enchant a creature. That creature then gets +1/+1. It also has Delirium, which means if you have 4 different card types in your graveyard, then it actually gives +3/+3 to that creature. You may think, okay, let's assume you don't have Delirium in this case. +1/+1 for 1 might be a decent boost, but the problem is that you're going to 2-for-1 yourself because it's an aura. You're going to remove that creature that you're enchanting, and then you've lost this card and that creature. Bad. Feel bad. Not good. Put it aside.
Yeah, but it's really cool that they augment themselves with Emrakul.
That is pretty cool.
With quasi powers.
Flavor-wise, but not, shall I include this in my deck-wise?
No. So next one, Borrowed Malevolence. It's a black, an instant with Escalate. Escalate cost is 2, and you can choose one or both. And target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. So it's an instant, and that's actually decent, but it's not that great. If you don't have any removal, it's still a good combat trick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As we talked already before in the last videos, your removal levels are unconditional removal, conditional removal, combat tricks. This is a good combat trick, pretty decent I think, because for 3 mana you're doing the swing of 2 points. Yeah. Or of course you can just deal more damage with 1 creature and kill another thing, just a 1 toughness thing. I kind of like it. I think tier 3, because I would try and see it as a filler card.
Yeah, it's a decent combat trick.
Yeah,
so
early in the game. Yeah. Next card is Wailing Ghoul. For 2 mana, we get a 1/3 zombie, which is a relevant creature type in this set. I think a 1/3 body for 2 mana is good. It's going to stop those 2/2 bears. That's not going to be a problem. And when you enter the battlefield, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. That's not bad for you. You're not losing cards. You're not, oh, they might remove my bomb if I do that. Don't worry about that. That's all statistics. Not relevant. Oh, it could activate my Delirium. Sure, it could have slight upside. So point being, is a very decent filler. You can just play it. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah.
So next one, Olivia's Dragoon. It's 1 and a black, Vampire Berserker, 2/2, and it has discard a card. Olivia's Dragoon gains flying until the end of turn. So a 2/2 for 2 is decent enough, and if you really need to get the last point of damage in, you can give it flying.
Yeah. What I do like about this is that the discard a card, so the madness enabling of this card is free, and it's instant speed. So it actually, if you do have some madness stuff, this is actually a pretty decent discard outlet. I kind of like it for that. And the fact that it's a 2/2 means that just by itself, it's already tier 3. If you're going madness stuff, this one actually becomes really good. I like it. Plus, of course, the fact that it gets flying, so you can deal extra 2 points of damage in the air. So yeah, tier 3, nice. Very top tier 3. Then we have next card, Cemetery Recruitment. For 2 mana. It's a sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If it's a zombie card, draw a card. There are plenty of zombies. What if you don't get the zombie? Then it's just bad. If you do have plenty of zombies, you might be able to include it, but that's a pretty big if. I would say just on its own, being able to return a card, not that great. I would say put it aside.
Yeah. So next one, Graph Rats. 1 and a black, it's a red, it's a 2/1. In the beginning of the beginning of combat, you can, if you have Graph Rats and the creature named Midnight Scavengers, you can melt them together.
Yeah. So but let's have a look. Oh well, yeah. By itself?
By itself, it's a 2 mana 2/1. It isn't that great, so let's put it aside. I mean, it has 2 power, but
You don't want to use this as your filler card, unless you also have the next card.
Yeah, you want to do it?
Yeah, thanks. I'll have a Midnight Scavengers for 5 mana. It's a 3/3 human rogue, so the body 3/3 for 5. Not super great, but when this guy enters the battlefield, you may return a creature card with converting mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. That's card advantage. That's pretty nice actually, because it's got your body, the 3/3, which is a good body, and you get a creature back that you lost early in the game, which could of course be your Graph Rats because there are only 2, and then you play your Graph Rats. If it's, for example, you got 7 mana, you play this one, you get your Graph Rats back from the graveyard, and you play it, and then they meld together into, Stephen, would you like to take this one?
Chittering Host. Eldrazi Horror, 5/6 with haste and menace, and when he enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain menace until end of turn. So if you would have the Midnight Scavengers on turn 5, if you have 7 on turn 7 with the Graph Rats, then you will have a 5/6 with haste and menace. So that's actually
attack with right
nice.
away. Yeah, you can attack with it right away, which is going to be doing tons and tons of damage, but you need to have both.
Yeah.
What are the odds of that?
Just both common.
Yeah, I would say if you don't have the rats, the Midnight Scavenger is still till tier 3.
Yeah.
If you do have both, just pop them both in, right?
Yeah.
Next card we have is Boon of Emrakul for 3 mana. It's an enchantment aura, and we get to enchant a creature and give it +3, -3. I really like this, mostly just because I just see it as a removal spell that's sorcery speed that says give a creature -3 and then kill it, pretty much. In that case, I would say tier 2, because it's going to hit a lot of stuff. I really like it as a removal. Should it become late game and you've got a big toughness creature that can handle them getting -3, then you can use it to swing in and do some extra damage with the extra power it yields. But mostly I would just try and use it as a removal spell.
Yeah, it's just decent removal.
Decent removal, right? Yeah.
So next one, Succumb to Temptation. 1 and 2 black. It's an instant. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. So it's like a Signing Blood, but instant for another mana more. I don't really like those effects that much, but if you really need something to fill up your deck, this is a decent card.
Filler, yeah.
Yeah.
Tier 3. It's not bad when you got it. Late game, it's good. Early, it's okay. But then again, you're not really changing very much at that point in time. So yeah, you can still use it as filler. Then we have Skirdag Supplicant for 3 mana. We get a 2/3 human cleric. So for 3 mana, 2/3, that's already a good body. That's already filler. That's already tier 3 right there. It also has an ability for a black and tapping it. We get to discard a card, so it's discard outlet, and each player loses 2 life. 8 player as well. So it's not like you're just dealing damage to your opponent, you're also dealing damage to yourself. Even without that ability, I would still say it's still filler, still tier 3. It doesn't really change. Its ability doesn't push it higher for me at all.
It's tier 3.
Yeah.
It helps because it has that little reach. So it's still a 2/3 with some reach.
Yeah, so if you're at 3 life and your opponent's at 2, then this one can win you the game.
Exactly.
If you also have another card in your hand that you didn't want to play to win you the game that way.
So the next one, Traven Foulbloods. 2 and a blue, black. It's a zombie hound, a 3/2 with delirium. And if you have delirium, they get +1/+1 and have menace. So 3/2 for 3 is just decent, and with delirium it's just an extra. So a filler.
Tier 3, yeah, just fill it up. Late game it becomes a little bit more relevant.
Yeah.
Good. Then we have Gavany Unhallowed for 4 mana. It's a 2/4 zombie, and I think for 4 mana, 2/4 is a good body. Already puts it tier 3, very decent. And then whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on this guy. If you've got a lot of smaller guys, let's say you're playing white and black, and those guys are dying, then this guy's becoming even bigger. I kind of like this actually. I think it's upper tier 3 for me because it's a good filler and it can become even better in other situations.
Yeah, I mean it's a 2/4, so it blocks all day, and then if something dies, which probably will die, it'll get bigger. I
can imagine a very awkward situation if you're playing white and black and you keep this guy to block and you attack with weenies with your mana open, and then your opponent says, okay, either I block and they've got a combat trick and then I lose my creature, or I block, they don't have it, their creatures die, but then the Gavany Unhallowed gets pumped, or I don't do anything and the damage gets through. So it actually gives them quite a difficult situation if your mana's open and you've got this guy on the battlefield.
Yeah. So next one, Weirded Vampire, 3 and a black, Vampire Horror, a 3/3 with madness, cost 2 and a black. So it's a 4 mana 3/3, which isn't that exciting, but it's decent. And with madness cost an extra, so just put it in as a filler.
Yeah, very good filler. Even without the madness, I'll just say I'm happy playing a 3/3, 4/4. Not a problem. Good on the curve. Then we have Certain Death for 6 mana. It's a sorcery, and it says destroy target creature. Its controller loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Okay, that life point swing, not that important. What is important is that it's unconditional removal. You get to destroy target creature. It doesn't say give -2/-2. It doesn't say destroy tapped creature. It's destroy target creature, which is really good. However, it's 6 mana, which is really expensive as well. Still, will find a spot in my deck, I think, if I'm playing black as unconditional removal. So I would say tier 3. Fill it up.
Because the problem is it will probably get rid of something that's less mana, because it's a lot of mana to cost anyway. So
life point swing is not that interesting.
That's why I want to put it at tier 3 instead of tier 2.
Yeah, if it would have been maybe 1 mana less, it would already be tier 2, I would say. Alright, then we go to the uncommon cards.
So the first uncommon is Vampire Cutthroat. It's a black, it's a vampire rogue, a 1/1 with Skulk and Lifelink. So that's like decent because it has Skulk and it has Lifelink. So that's why I put it in tier 3 just as a filler. It's not spectacular, but it will gain you some life, will do some damage.
I'm okay playing this. Yeah. Especially if you pump it as well, then you're gaining a bit of extra life on top of that. I think it'll do some work. Then we have Grim Harvest for 1 black.
Graph Harvest.
Sorry, Graph Harvest. It's also Grim if you look at the picture. And for 1 black, it's an enchantment that says that zombies you control have menace, and we can pay 4 mana and then exile creature card from our graveyard to put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. Now this is a tricky one because for 1 mana you pop it down, so it's super cheap to have on the battlefield. Then there are lots of zombies in this set, so there is a good chance you can have a zombie heavy deck, and then giving all your zombies menace is pretty nice. It makes them hard to block. Then late game, it's also good because you get to exile all the creatures that died from your graveyard. Each time you get to pay 4 mana, or twice, you can pay 8 mana to do it to 2, and then you got another creature out of that creature that died before, giving you kind of card advantage. I like it. I can also see a situation where you're paying 5 mana for 1 2/2 zombie with menace. That's also in essence what you're doing, which is not a great deal either. When you're going, if you're going zombie heavy or you're going for the late game, it's really strong. If you're not, then I would say put it aside. But all things considering, I'd say it's still a pretty decent filler card, tier 3.
Yeah, I like it a bit more because I think you'll always have a creature when you have 4 mana to just exile, and you'll probably have a couple to do it. But it's a bit clunky, so yeah, tier 3.
Yeah, I'd say lower tier 3 for me, but higher tier for you. Then we have Whispers of Emrakul for 2 mana. It's a sorcery. Target opponent discards a card at random, and then if we have Delirium, then they have to discard 2 cards at random. Wizards doesn't really do discarding cards at random anymore, but apparently we're wrong because here it is again, and we do get to make somebody discard cards at random.
Emrakul does weird things.
Does weird things, even changing the vision of WotC apparently. I don't really like this effect because we don't get to pick what they discard. They don't get to pick it either, but you know, there's just as good a chance that they discard something that they didn't need anyway. And we did have to pay mana and get rid of this card, so I would say put it aside. What do you think?
Yeah, just put it aside. I mean, if you have Delirium, that's 2 cards, but you really have to have Delirium, and then it will be later in the game.
Yeah.
So,
if anything, it's a psychological card because making somebody discard something at random just makes them angry, and then they might not play as well. But other than that, it's not that great.
So the next one is Prime Questions. It's 2 and a black. It's a sorcery. Target opponent loses 3 life and puts a card from his or her hand on top of his or her library. Just put it aside. I mean, you won't. The opponent won't draw a new card, so you'll get them that way. But it won't do enough, since they won't actually lose a card, and you will lose a card.
Yeah.
And the 3 life isn't relevant most of the time.
No. You're both down a card essentially, except they get theirs back. You don't. Next turn. Yeah, just put it aside. Next card, Liliana's Elite for 3 mana. It's a 1/1 zombie, and this guy gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. Now, early game it does nothing, it's just a 1/1. Later on in the game it has the potential to be larger. It's not going to be a 10/10 ever, but it will be larger. The thing is, remember that if you want to have this be a 3/3 for 3, then you do need to have 2 creature cards in your graveyard. I think that is feasible. I think that's possible, and that's why I would say it's a good filler card on the curve. Yeah. What do you think?
I think you most likely have enough creatures in the graveyard at the end of the game. So I think that potential upside for me, I will give it a tier 3 because I just really like the card. I think I like it better than you do.
It's kind of like the Gavany Unhallowed, where you can keep it on your side of the battlefield. You can attack with your other creatures. Should those creatures die, this guy becomes bigger. They may not want that, and they get through. You got a combat check. It's kind of the same story. Imagine having both of them. Pretty sweet. Then we have Murder for 3 mana. It's an instant destroy target creature. Yeah, I can't even. It's Murder. I mean, tier 1.
Yeah, tier 1.
Anything else you want to say? I'm at a loss for words. This is just perfect.
It's a good card. It's a good card.
Not a good card.
And
it's a great card.
Okay.
Think about it. The other card was 6 mana destroy target creature. This is 3 mana destroy, and that was was it sorcery?
No.
It was
It was sorcery. It was sorcery.
Did I pass it already?
You did pass it.
Oh, I did.
It was
It's so bad I didn't even look at it. Like, this is instant speed as well. I mean, it is. I can't even. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Perfect.
And it's not work if you enjoy it.
That's true. Always, if you got this, then you're looking for ways to make black work.
So the next one, Hunted Dead. It's 3 and a black. It's a zombie, a 2/2, and when he enters the battlefield, you get a 1/1 flying spirit token on the battlefield. So it's already 3 power, which 1 is flying.
Good.
And when he is dead, you can pay up 1 and a black, discard 2 cards, return Hunted Dead from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped, and you get a spirit again. So I actually like it as a good filler.
Yeah, I think it's better than just having a 3/3.
Yeah.
Because you got the 1/1 evasion body on top of that as well. And there's a way of getting back, which I don't think I'll be using that often. But yeah, it's good to have the chance there in case you do draw 2 lands in a row. And then you just say, alright, fine, let's get rid of those lands late game. So tier 3. Next one is Ruthless Disposal for 5 mana. It's a sorcery. At an additional cost to cast this spell, we have to discard a card and sacrifice a creature. So right now already, we're getting rid of 3 cards when we're playing this. We have to get rid of the Ruthless Disposal, we have to discard a card, and we have to sacrifice a creature, which will most likely costs us a card. Then what is the effect? What are we getting for 5 mana and 3 cards? 2 target creatures get -13/-13 till the end of the turn. Okay. As far as removal is concerned, this is pretty much unconditional. You're going to get rid of the 2 most nasty things there are. But is that worth 5 mana and 3 cards? That is my question. I think most likely yes. Filler card tier 3.
Yeah. I mean, you still need your removal. So if you don't have anything better, then play that one.
Yeah. But it is card disadvantage. It is card disadvantage.
Sorry.
Bless you. So what's the next card?
So the next one is Markov Crusader. It's 4 and a black. It's a Vampire Knight of 4/3 with lifelink. So that's nice.
Nice.
And it has haste if you have another vampire. So, and there are a couple vampires in black, so you might get haste, but even without, it's still a 4/3 with lifelink. Yeah. So that's pretty nice. So it's a good filler.
Yeah, unfortunately the 3 toughness means it's going to be dying to the Eldrazi Horrors and a lot of other 3 power creatures. So I don't think it'll last very long. That's why it doesn't have a higher score, but still decent filler. Yeah. Then we have Rise from the Grave for 5 mana as a reprint. It's a sorcery, and we get to put target creature card from a graveyard, so not just your own, a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. That creature is a black zombie in addition to its color and types. Basically, I like this. Why? Because later on in the game, stuff is dying, bombs get removed, and if whether it's your bomb or their bomb, you can just say for 5 mana, bam, I'm going to pop that thing not just back into my hand, but I'm going to put it right onto the battlefield, which is really, really strong. I would say tier 2, because if I'm in black, I'm popping the sucker in.
Yeah, it's really nice just to play other people's bomb and just kill them with them.
Yeah, that's nasty.
So next one, Dust Feaster. 5 and 2 black. It's a vampire. It's a 4/5 with Delirium, and if you have Delirium, it will cost 2 less. So it will be a 3 and 2 black. It's a flying. So 4/5 flying for 7 is a steep cost, and with Delirium will be a bit cheaper, but I mean,
don't count on it.
Yeah.
Just see it as 7 mana. I get a 4/5 flyer.
Yeah.
You don't. And you probably don't have anything that can tangle with
but
this.
But the 5 toughness is really important here.
It's really big. It's going to stop. Not only does it stop a lot of the flying stuff and can attack with impunity against a lot of your opponent's flyer stuff, but also it can also stop a lot of ground pounders because it's just 4/5. It's just really big.
Yeah.
So
put it tier 2 because it's just so big.
It's that strong. Yeah. Okay, those are the uncommons. Let's have a look at the rares. To start out the rares, we're going to start with Crypt Breaker. For 1 black, we get a 1/1 zombie. Okay, 1/1 for 1, fine. But it has a very cool ability. For 2 mana and tapping it and discarding a card, we get to put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. Now that's really nice because already, let's say, ideal scenario, turn 1, you pop this sucker down, turn 2, you pay 2, tap, and you discard a land, which you may think, okay, I'm not going to need because I got too many lands anyway for later. I'm going to curve out anyway. You got 2/2, you turn 2, you got your zombie. And on top of that, it's got another ability, which is tap 3 untapped zombies you control, draw a card, and lose a life. So already, right off the bat, this guy can turn your lands into zombies, which you can turn into more drawing of cards, which you can turn into more zombies. So it's actually going to, that's why it's a Crypt Breaker, because breaking into crypts and summoning more zombies, getting more and more all the time. I think it's really cool. If I'm in black, I will try and make this work. I would say tier 2 because of the fact that it has a cool ability that gives you zombies, which enables you to get even more cards, which works all together with its own abilities.
Yeah, it's just a solid card, early game, solid card, late game. So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Next one, Collective Brutality. 1 and a black sorcery with Escalate. The Escalate cost is discarding a card. And yeah, but you can choose to the target opponent reveals his or her land. You may choose an instant or sorcery card and the opponent discards the card. Or target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Or target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So it's actually not that great of a card. No. I mean, instant sorcery is getting rid of that is decent, and the target creature gets -2/-2 is also pretty decent. Yeah. That's why I want to put it in tier 3 because it has a lot of versatility.
Yeah. Most of the time you're going to be paying 2 mana to just give a creature -2/-2, which is fine removal, fine conditional removal.
Exactly.
You know, I always play that. Should you want to discard an additional card to go and see if you can remove an instant sorcery, which might be your opponent's removal spell, you could roll the dice. Maybe they have that. But in essence, you are discarding a card for that as well, unless you're doing 2 cards. I don't know. Risky. You gotta really think that they're gonna have that removal spell to do that. But it's nice to have the versatility. So tier 3 still. Yeah. It'd be nicer if you could escalate and do the same thing twice. That you could do the -2/-2 thing twice. Then I'd be very happy with that. But you can't. You can only choose that one once.
Discarding your whole hand. To discard
to board wipe basically.
No, but also just get rid of opponent's hand.
Yeah, if they're only instants and sorceries. Unlikely, very unlikely. All right. Next card is Dark Salvation for XX and black. So basically we can pay X 2 times and a black mana to get the following effect. So let's just, for the sake of simplicity, let's just say we're paying 4 mana into the X and 1 black. So that's 5 mana total, where X is 2. So then it says target player puts 2/2 black zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield. Then up to 1 target creature gets -1 until the end of turn for each zombie that player controls. And we're talking about the person who got the zombies. So you can give a creature -2/-2 in this scenario.
If you don't have any other zombies.
If you don't have any other zombies. Very good point. So if you do have more zombies, you can give the creature a larger -X number. Later on in the game, of course, you can make more zombies. You can kill bigger stuff, which is pretty cool. What you can also do is if your opponent has a lot of zombies already, then you can say, okay, you just pay 1 black, and you just count the amount of zombies, and then one of their creatures that you choose gets -X equal to the amount of zombies that they have. So it's kind of complicated, but you can either give yourself a lot of zombies, kill something of theirs, or you can have your opponent not get any zombies, but if they already have them, and then kill something of theirs. That's pretty much how it works.
Yeah.
Complicated card.
Exactly.
Tier 3.
Tier 3. Yeah,
Tier
it's a really good tier 3 card.
Yeah, later on the game it's better.
Pretty expensive. That's why I want to put it tier 3.
Think about it. You're paying 5 mana for the 2/2s and your removal. Actually, I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty good.
It is.
Yeah, tier 3, still filler though.
So next one, Stormkirk Condemned. It's 2 black. It's a vampire horror. It's a 2/2 and its ability that when you discard a card, or you can discard a card, and vampires you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and you can activate this ability only once each turn. So once each turn you can discard a card to get all your vampires +1/+1. That isn't that great. It's a 2/2 for 2 black, which makes it difficult to cast. So you probably won't have it on turn 2, and the discarding, having vampires, I don't think it's that great. Just want to put it tier 3.
Yeah. There's a lot of vampires in this set, just like there's a lot of zombies, so it's a relevant creature type, but the fact that you have to give up a card to give them +1/+1, and you can't do it multiple times, is kind of nasty. Also, but for a free discard outlet, in that case, it's pretty good. Just like we talked to the other 2/2, but that one was easier to cast. So in the end, it still just doesn't get past the tier 3. It's still just not better than a filler card, unfortunately. Then we have Oath of Liliana for 3 mana. When he enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature. So you don't have to sacrifice a creature. So that's pretty cool conditional removal. They have to get rid of something.
Yeah.
Then at the beginning of each end step, if a planeswalker entered the battlefield under your control, this turn you get to put a 2/2 zombie token on the battlefield. Well, what are the odds? Very small. You can just ignore that second part. But just for 3 mana, having your opponent sacrifice a creature, pretty cool conditional removal, tier 3.
Yeah.
Good filler.
It's just a decent filler.
Yeah.
So next one for down, Pariah. 3 and 2 black. It's a vampire horror, a 3/3 with flying, and you can sacrifice 3 other creatures, and then you can transform for down Pariah. It also has a mana cost of 3 black. So it's a 3/3 for 5 flying. It isn't that great. It has madness.
I don't know, 3/3 flying for 5, I think it's pretty good body.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about it. For 6 mana, getting a 4/4 flyer would also be great.
That's true.
Yeah. So I think it's actually a very decent flyer, regardless of its madness and other transformation things.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it does block nearly everything in the
air.
And yeah. There are only a couple of things that are more expensive that can survive it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And if you have a few disposable creatures, let's say you got 3 disposable creatures, then it transforms, and then it transforms into Abolisher of the Bloodlines, which then all of a sudden is a 6/5 flyer. So I think even if you have pretty decent creatures, I think it's worth it to sacrifice those creatures to have this 6/5 power in the air. And when this guy transforms into Abolisher of the Bloodlines, or when the other one transforms into Abolisher of the Bloodlines, target opponent sacrifices 3 creatures. And you know what? What if they have better creatures than you?
So yeah, you sacrifice 3 creatures, and then they sacrifice 3 creatures, and you have a 6/5 with flying.
I think it's really, really strong.
Yeah,
actually.
I think because of that, it actually is a tier 2 for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say tier 2 is over from black. I would auto-include it even if I wouldn't plan on transforming it. Why? Because it's already a 3/3 flyer. And the madness might be fun. I mean, think about it, if you got a free discard outlet for 3 mana, putting down a 3/3 flyer is gonna end the game real quick.
So the next one, Newsgraph Mob. It's 4 and 2 black. It's a zombie. It's a 0/0, but it enters the battlefield with 5 +1/+1 counters on it. And if anyone casts a spell, you remove a +1/+1 counter from it, and then if you do, you put a 2/2 black zombie creature on the battlefield. So whenever anyone casts a spell, you get rid of a counter, and then you put a zombie on the play. So it will be a 5/5 for 6, which is decent.
Yeah.
And it will transform into 5 2/2s.
Yeah, eventually. And if people say, you know what, I don't like the fact that you got that 5/5, I'm going to use a removal spell to kill it, then sure, they kill it, but before that, it does remove a counter and you get a 2/2. So even if they do use a removal spell to kill it, you still get a 2/2 zombie out of the deal. Then every turn after that, If they're not doing that, you're obviously also casting spells, they're casting spells, and then this thing is becoming smaller and smaller. You're getting loads and loads of zombies, which in the end, if they don't do anything about it, you're paying 6 mana for 10 power and toughness.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, very nice. Those are the rares. Let's have a look at the mythics.
So the first mythic is Liliana, the Last Hope. It's 1 and 2 black, planeswalker with 3 loyalty counters, and the +1 is up to 1 target creature gets -2, -1 until the end, until your next turn. So it will be -2, -1 the opponent's turn, and that actually helps because it kills small creatures. It helps because it debuffs larger creatures, so that's like decent. And the -2, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, so you can get something back.
Card advantage, yeah.
Exactly. And -7, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of your end step, put X 2/2 black zombie creatures on the battlefield, where X is 2 plus the number of zombies you control. So you get at least 2 zombies, and then you get 2 plus whatever zombies survive the turn, and then it just keeps on growing,
Yeah.
But how big is the chance that you ult? Not that great.
No, unlikely.
But it's still a good card nonetheless. So I would put it in tier 1.
I would definitely be looking at playing black. Why? Because for 3 mana, it's 3 loyalty. When it comes on the battlefield, most likely you're +1er, so then she's 4 loyalty, and you probably were able to kill something either because it's 1 toughness or because you did it after combat and your opponent blocked something, and then it's only the creature that has only got 1 toughness left after the combat, and you can kill it anyway. And then after that, you're going to be able to be getting card advantage, returning your creatures back from the graveyard to your hand and recasting them. I think Liliana is going to be lots and lots of work in your limited games.
Yeah.
And I would say auto included. Actually look to play black because of it.
Exactly.
Then we have Tree of Perdition for 4 mana. It's a 0/13 plant. It's a defender. You can't attack with it. And what it can also do is you can tap it and then exchange target opponent's life total with Tree of Perdition's toughness, which means that if they're at 20 and your tree is a 0/13, then all of a sudden you tap it, and then all of a sudden they're at 13 and your tree is a 0/20. Nice. This is actually a lot more interesting in constructed, where you can do all the kind of shenanigans to blow your opponent out and have cool combos. In limited, however, still will deal at the beginning of the game, if you have an attack with it, it'll still deal 7 damage in essence and give you a really, really fat blocker which can block for days.
Yeah.
You can't really do any damage though. So it's, yeah, if you're in black, just auto include it.
Yeah.
Don't disappoint.
Because it blocks everything on the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nothing gets through this thing.
Exactly.
Awesome. Those are the mythics. Let's have a look at the conclusion.
Conclusion, black is a solid color. It has some good fillers, couple good creatures, and removal. So there's not really much you want more.
No, exactly. Black has the potential to fill out every aspect of the deck that you're going to be building. Black is a solid color. You've got your evasion, you've got your removal, you've got your early, you've got your 2-drops, you've got your later, a little bit bigger, fatter creatures. I actually think black is going to be doing a lot of work, and I'm excited to add it. I don't know if it's going to be my main color, but it can definitely support any other color if it's going to be main as a support color to fill in any holes that remain. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what black does. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment to this video. Let us know what you think. Do you agree with our tier system? Do you not agree with it? Do you think some should be higher, some should be lower? Is there a card you're looking forward to playing? Please let us know. Also join us on Facebook and Twitter, where we can have more interactive discussions. So just tweet at us and let us know what you think. Finally, after the jump, you're going to see the other colors. We've already had white and blue, and this was of course black, and now we're going to go to red. So wait for the jump to click on that video and join us there. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'm David.
And I'm Stefan.
This was Budget MTG Decks.